News complain that Israel has terrible PR on its own behalf. How justified do you think this view is?
Yeah, so and what I'm about to say, it doesn't mean that Israel has great PR. Of course, you can always have better PR. Even the United States can use better PR. But PR is not the problem. The problem is one of positioning. What does it mean by that? What is positioning? Positioning is the actions that you take in order to improve your position vis-a-vis your competition. What's Israel's competition? Some people mistakenly think that Israel's competition is the Palestinians or the Arab world. No, Israel's competition, for all intents and purposes, is in Europe, is in North America. These are the markets where we want to grow. Israel's competition is not the Palestinians. And Tel Aviv's competition is not Ramallah. And Jerusalem competition is not Cairo. Tel Aviv's competition is Berlin and Barcelona. And Jerusalem competition is Athens and Paris. That's how we should look at it. Now, what does it mean positioning? Human tendency, human nature is to identify with the underdog. It's very difficult for us to understand that the underdog can be wrong. It's very difficult for us to understand that the underdog can be violent, can be deadly, can be brutal, can be cruel. Very difficult. Think about ourselves. What do we do when we see a little baby? Big smile. What do we do when we see a little puppy? What do we do when we watch a game between two teams when one team is leading the by far, like 50 points? Our sympathies usually go to the underdog because the underdog is viewed in our brain as helpless, defenseless, weak, needs our help. And Israel occupied the position of the underdog from the early days of pre-Zionism, mid-19th century, through the pogroms, of course, through the Holocaust, through the 1948 War of Independence, where Israel clearly was the underdog, all the way to 67 and 73, which was the last time Israel firmly occupied the position of the underdog. Then something happened. And by the way, it's not that we had good PR, but until that point, as long as we held the position of the underdog, Israel was popular in popular culture in Hollywood, right? Israel attracted. There's a Frank Sinatra cafeteria at the Hebrew University right here, 5 minutes from here, right? Barbara Streisand, all those big names openly supported Israel because Israel clearly was the underdog until 73. Then what happened? Something dramatic happened. And again, Israel being this self-centered, ethnocentric society, less really interested and connected with the world, Israeli society has yet to understand the importance of what happened in June of 1982. That was the year when Israel inadvertently, this was not the intention, lost the position of the underdog. That's the year when there was a switch in the positioning of Israel. We went from being the regional David to becoming the regional Goliath, at least in the eyes of the world. We invaded Lebanon, an invasion that was viewed by most of the world and many world Jews and many Israelis as an unnecessary invasion. That, by the way, caused Israel. We spent 18 years in Lebanon. We lost hundreds and hundreds of soldiers. And again, the reason why we went into Lebanon, our leadership at the time, and in particular Menachem Begin, was deeply ethnocentric. Menachem Begin was motivated by the very same siege mentality. To his credit, I would say he was genuine, he was authentic. He was not manipulative, he was not deceptive. He just made a wrong decision. But he truly believed in what he did. He was convinced the Israeli army is perfect. He was convinced we were invincible. I remember very vividly as a young soldier how he threatened Assad. He said to him, Yanush and Rafula waiting for you. He was euphoric. He had no idea that the damage to Israel's positioning is strategic and long-term, because since 1982, it's been downhill. Then you had in December of 1987, the first Intifada and then the second Intifada. There was for a brief moment that Israel resumed to occupy the position of the underdog. in 1991 when Saddam Hussein attacked Israel with 39 Scud missiles, but that was short-lived. Since then, we became we occupy firmly the position of the regional force, the side in the conflict that has the might, the military might, the economic might, and the numbers are on our side. It's very difficult to convince the world that you are the underdog under these conditions. So that's essentially what happens when people talk about Israel's PR problem. I want you to remember, in the first place, it's a positioning problem, not a PR problem. Not that Israel's PR is perfect.